Another time to talk sport on News Central TV. I am Onyinyechi Ogu-Obaroh, and this is In the Game. We have a lot to catch up with in the world of football. Olympic qualifiers, the second leg, takes centre stage today. The Super Falcons of Nigeria will be looking to hold that one-goal advantage that they picked in Abuja over there in Pretoria. So for the South Africans, they're looking to make the Super Falcons miss another Olympics since 2008. 60-year jinx. Can the Super Falcons, of course, break that jinx? We'll get to know when hostilities gets underway. And of course, UEFA Champions League quarter-final first leg returns once again. For those who have missed that tune, of course, it returns once again today for the quarter-final fixture. Man City will be in action, Arsenal will be in action, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. These are many more we get on the show today. You can follow, like, our social media platforms at News Central TV. Do not forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hashtag In the Game. Join the conversation. We want to feel your feedback. Let's give you our top 5 stories making the rounds in the world of sport. The Handball Federation of Nigeria, HFN, have postponed phase 1 of the 2024 Handball Premier League, which is the biggest handball event in Nigeria. It was scheduled to begin on April 28 through to May 11. Teams are now expected to arrive in Benin City on May 12th, while hostilities will begin the next day, May 13 through to May 24, 2024. The president of the Federation, Samuel Ocheho, made the announcement in Abuja. He said that the postponement by 2 weeks will enable the organizers to put all things in place for a world-class competition. According to Ocheho, the shift will also give the teams more time to adequately prepare for the league. He said the postponement is to ensure a perfect first phase of the best handballing experience for the teams. Moving away straight from that to the company managing the Eiffel Tower and the organizing committee of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games have announced that the Olympic rings will be displayed on the monument during the Paris Olympic Games. The 5 rings representing 5 continents and the universal nature of the sport will be installed in the next few weeks on the side of that world-famous edifice that faces the River Seine. So the Olympics will begin on the 26th of July with an unprecedented opening ceremony on Seine. Now, instead of that parading ceremony through the Athletic Stadium at the start of the Games, teams are set to sail down the Seine River in a flotilla of boats in front of the 500,000 spectators. So a big twist from France over there hosting the 2024 Paris Olympics. They say no parading this time on the track, but to be a flotilla of boats in front of 500,000 spectators. I cannot wait to that opening ceremony, but it is a bit of good news for Russian and Belarusian athletes because the UK government has written to the president of the International Olympic Committee and the International Paralympic Committee. They are expressing support for allowing Russian and Belarusian athletes to compete at the Paris Games as neutrals. So athletes from both countries were banned following Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. But the IOC and the IPC have since decided to allow individuals to compete if they do so without their flags, emblems, or the anthems of their country. Athletes must not have publicly supported the invasion of Ukraine or be contracted to the military. The countries cannot enter team event at the competition. Now, the government stance comes despite the Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport, Lucy Fraser, saying last year that any plans to allow Russian and Belarusian athletes to participate in Paris are not credible. But the UK government are taking a foot forward right now to speak on behalf of Russian and Belarusian athletes who are ready to compete as neutrals. Let's move away from here. There is something new about transgender having to ply their trade in netball. So World Netball has banned transgender women from competing in the women's international competition. The ban comes in with immediate effect after the global governing body released a new participation and inclusion policy on Monday. World Netball said that after a lengthy consultation process, it had determined international women's netball was a gender-affected activity. So a new policy was required to ensure fairness and safety for all athletes who are involved in netball. Wrapping up our top 5 story at this time, Khaled Sands is so keen to speed up his contract negotiations as he looks to secure a seat on the 2025 Formula 1 grid. Sands, who took another podium on Sunday at the Japanese Grand Prix, will leave Ferrari at the end of this year, as of course he will have replaced Lewis Hamilton. Now the 29-year-old has been linked with Mercedes, Aston Martin, Red Bull and Sauber, will become Audi from 2026. A move to Mercedes will signal a straight swap, with Lewis Hamilton joining Aston Martin would likely mean replacing Fernando Alonso, and switching to Red Bull would be in the place of Sergio Perez. Unless we have Max Verstappen surprisingly leaving the Red Bull, that's the only way this can happen. But Khaled Sands wants this negotiation to speed up. Please speed up. I need a seat in the 2025 Formula 1 window. Right, there you have it, our top 5 stories at this time. We'll return with more updates in the world of sport. Do not go anywhere. In the Game continues. Back, you're still watching In the Game. If you just missed our top 5 stories, you can catch up. Get to follow, like our social media platforms at News Central TV. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Did I say that so fast? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, hashtag In the Game. Join the conversation. We want to feel your feedback. All right, time to talk business in the world of sports. The Paris 2024 Olympics is here. Second leg here upon us for the women's football event. So, after a keenly contested first leg encounter last Friday at the Ogu-Obaroh Stadium, Abuja in Nigeria, in which the Super Falcons prevailed 1-0, the stage is now set for another epic clash between South Africa and Nigeria's national women's football teams. Both teams are locked in a qualification battle for the women's football event at the Paris Olympics, so taking place in a few months. So today's all-important clash is billed for the Westfield Stadium in Pretoria, South Africa. Now, South Africa has got this advantage with the 12th man, of course, behind them. Now, while the Super Falcons are determined to uphold that undefeated record against Banyana of South Africa on their home soil, the South African women also, they're optimistic that they can change the narrative, especially with their current status as the reigning African champions. For the Super Falcons, they had to step up preparations with the Nigeria's High Commissioner to South Africa, Oleksandr, and defender Tony Payne. They believe that the Super Falcons they're already in Paris already, even before the second leg. Let's listen to them both.
You have the High Commissioner here in South Africa. Normally when we attend or get to any country, the High Commissioner or the Ambassador addresses us, and here he is to talk to you. Welcome.
We are so glad when we heard that Super Falcons will be coming here. We've been watching you, and let me right away say that I convey the fraternal greetings of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who, of course, you all know very well as a football enthusiast, who has also conveyed and directed us that we should tell you that he's solidly behind you on this particular match, and that you should go all out there tomorrow morning and share your stuff. We know what you are made of. You understand? One thing I will encourage you to do is that just have it at the back of your mind that you are playing against all odds, but I know you are all to the task. So we want to see you victorious tomorrow. And
yeah, we're feeling really prepared. The travel was quite nice for us. We had the whole day to rest, so the team's feeling really good. Obviously coming off the win from the last game, we have a lot of confidence, so I think we'll improve our way of play in tomorrow's game, and I think it'll be an improvement.
Tony Payne, there, of course, a responsible and dependable defender over there for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. All right, we want to weigh the options. Can the South Africans get that ticket, go ahead of Nigeria? They must have to score more than one goal, of course, to get that ticket. Now, we've got a women football writer and the former media officer of the Flamingos, that is the Nigeria's under-17 women's team, Isabella Ekeoma. Thank you so much, Isabella, for joining us today all the way from Abia State in Nigeria. Thank you and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Onyinyechi, for inviting me to this program.
All right, it's great to always have you. It's time to talk women matter right now. The Falcons got their first outright win in 8 years against South Africans. I remember the Aisha Buhari Cup, the Women's African Cup of Nations. South Africa have always got the better of the Super Falcons. But in Abuja, of course, on Friday, the Falcons got that penalty. 1 goal to be ahead of the the Banyana, of course, in this encounter. How comfortable are the Falcons with this 1-0 lead in Abuja going into that reverse fixture?
Well, you wouldn't say they are comfortable, but that's what they were able to get. Actually, the thing is this, I didn't like the slim margin, but then it has already happened. So it is left for them to go out in South Africa, don't defend. Like I always say, the best form of defense is attack. You don't need to sit back because it's just a slim win. If you sit back, I mean, if they score a goal in the first half, in the second half, the tension will be high on you, on yourself, and before you know it, they'll score another goal and it's all over. For you to get another goal in South Africa, in Pretoria, it will be difficult. So I would advise the Super Falcons to go out there, try to score more goals. If they score a goal or two, they can sit back and defend. But let them not play a defensive game, because we are talking about the South Africans who are the current women champions. They have grown over the years. I know history is on our side. We've met 24 times, we've won them 15 times, they've drawn 5 times, and they've won 4 times. But there is always a day to break history. There's always a day to spoil records. And I don't pray that that day is today, because we've already lost, we've not been able to go to 3 Olympics. The last Olympic we went to was 2008, yes. We haven't been in the Olympics since 3 consecutive times. So this is our time to go to Paris 2024, and we shouldn't squander this chance. So I just hope that they play a fair game, play a good game, go out there, score more, and also mind your defense and your midfield. If it's possible, get a goal or 2 and sit back, but let them not play a defensive game.
Okay, I'm sure you're being a patriotic Nigerian right now, but Isabel, we missed some key players in some key areas, of course, in that encounter against the Banyana. They were still able to hold the Banyana strike even after missing key players in the encounter. Ashley Plumpton was not on parade for the Super Falcons, but we had new legs for the defensive pair. We only had Ohale as the constant defender for the Super Falcons, who made her showing against the Banyana in Abuja. And we understand that there are doubts that Asisat Oshoala may or may not be fielded in this second leg, because in the first leg she arrived the day before the encounter, and this second leg there are doubts that she may not be fielded. Should there be a cause for worry if the Falcons do not have her in this encounter today? Isa?
Not so much. There were times when we depended on Asisat Oshoala, but this time I think we have the team to beat. We have somebody like Jennifer Echegini. We have so many of them. You have Rashidat Ajibade, who also scored. We have our front line is okay. For me, we shouldn't really, if she didn't come on in the game, it's still okay. We have the team that can actually beat South Africa. Uche Nakano is there. Chidinma Ihezue is there, although she meets a one-on-one, but she can redeem herself in this second leg. We have the team to beat South Africa. But the problem is, are we ready to beat South Africa? Because right now, they are talking tough. The last time they came to Abuja, and their excuses were that the pitch was somehow that this and that it was a plan. It was not a plan. If they know Nigeria, they know that that is our pitch. That is Abuja. We don't make plans like other African countries who, when you come to their countries, they start be mischievous. Nigeria does not play such mind games. We are there. We have the talents, and we have the players to go out there to do justice to this. But the thing is, are they ready to go there? For me, I'm already in Paris. Are they in Paris? Because they are the ones that will determine if we will be able to go to this Olympics, this year's Olympics. So they have the players to do well. It's left for them to do what they should do.
Okay, you made mention about they're complaining about the pitch and all, but pardon me, Bella, I would like to put you on the spot here. Is there a plan in high places for South Africa to qualify for these Olympics ahead of the Super Falcons of Nigeria? Remember that, yes, the striker, Temi Gatlana, did complain that it was an orchestrated plan for Nigeria to get that penalty. And she says there was a clear case of a red card for a South African player from that professional foul after she was the last player to go. And then illegally she stopped a Nigerian player, but the referee did not, decide in the Super Falcons' favor. Also, for the Super Falcons penalty, it took the referee some time before she awarded that penalty that Rasheedat Adibade did take for the Super Falcons. Is there a plan anywhere? Do you see any undertone in high places for South Africa to get this one ahead of the Super Falcons?
Oh, well, for them to get qualify ahead of us, is that what you're asking?
Yes, please.
I don't think there is a plan, and I don't want them to have a plan. I don't want any outside politics from what we are going to watch today. They complain that the pitch, this and that, and all that. We don't play those mind games in Nigeria. It has always been other African countries. They make conditions unbearable for us, and at the end of the day, we still win. So I don't think there is a plan. I don't want to put CAF in the bad spot because we've not seen the game. The game is still going to be played in South Africa time, 7:30 p.m., which is 6:30 p.m. here in Nigeria. So we are going to watch what will play out. Then my advice is for those players, those are our players, to do well. Because if you do well, there won't be room for all these rumors. If you score your chances, who will say that there are politics here and there? Yeah, the referee may be the 12th player, but if you play well, there won't be any chance for that to happen. So I just hope that Nigeria this time around will be in Paris. It wouldn't be good if we also lose out this sport. That is 4th consecutive time, not going to the Olympics. It's not fair on Nigeria, being we are the highest winners of the cup. We are the giants of Africa, both on paper and in reality. So especially when it comes to women football. So I don't think there are outside politics, but if they are playing outside politics, let us at least watch it on TV and complain. But I just hope that our girls will go out there and do justice to it.
Okay, of course, they have got a tax, of course, to do justice and then pick that ticket. This is for the final round of the qualifiers for the African scene, because CAF has opted to discard that away goal rule. So it's just one goal, no away goal, no home goal. Under this decision, if Nigeria and South Africa find themselves deadlocked at the end of 90 minutes following the second leg encounter, the match will have to proceed into extra time and then penalty potentially if it gets to that level. Isabel, our final question here, is this match very much in our hands with this 1-goal lead? Do you think that even if push comes to shove, 90 minutes, extra time, penalty, this match will be in our hands?
That's why I didn't like the 1-goal margin. I had wanted more goals, but I'm not the person that will play it. The players will be the ones determining what is going to happen today. So it's left for them. They are the ones that will be in Paris, not me. Okay. It's no longer on our hands now because that 1-0 is slim. And I wouldn't want them to start defending, because if they defend and South Africa scores them and it ends 1-1, it means there must be a penalty, extra time and penalty.
But we've got Chamaka Nadozie.
Yes, they are playing they've been doing very well in their respective clubs.
Yeah.
It is left for them to do well now. They will be the ones in Paris 2024. So it is left for them mentally. Are they mentally ready for the pressure? Because according to the South Africans, you know, there are not much fans in Abuja.
Yes.
So they can have all the fans, all the home support, all of that. But we have this home support against us in the World Cup against Australia, and we're able to win the Australians right there in their home soil. So I want them to replicate this feat. If they are going to do well, they have to be mentally ready. No matter the distractions, no matter what happens there, their focus is to win the game. There in Pretoria, if possible, let them win the game. Let them not sit back, because I've never been defensive minded. I prefer attack. And just as they always say, the best form of defense is attack. It is better that Nigeria has scored 2 goals, and they themselves even the shock of the 2 goals wouldn't even allow them to zero it out.
Okay. I'll be crossing my fingers, hoping that the Super Falcons can live up to expectation there. Of course, we have been speaking to a female football writer, Isabella, Ekeoma, who was the former media officer of the Nigeria's under-17 women's national team, the Flamingos. All right, I'm very sure that network has not permitted her to drop words, final words on this conversation. But we're very glad to have her share in her wealth of knowledge. We go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll have to go to the camp of the Copper Queens of Zambia to see how the possibilities of getting that turnover away from Morocco so they can make a second consecutive Olympic appearance. Don't go anywhere, In the Game continues. In the game, still talking football here, and women's football to be precise. Now to talk about the second ticket, the African ticket to the Paris 2024 Olympics, is going to be between Morocco and Zambia. Now Morocco will have to battle it out with Zambia for that Olympic Games Paris 2024 qualification final round, and that's going to happen today. So that second leg encounter is poised to take place at the Moulay Hassan Stadium in the capital city of Morocco, Rabat. The Atlas Lionesses emerge as a 2-1 winner over the Copper Queens of Zambia in the first leg match in Ndola on the home soil of Zambia on the 5th of April 2024. Now, meanwhile, Zambia would be looking to overturn that deficit and qualify for their second successive Olympic Games. But can they do this against the Jorge Vidal side? Barbara Banda, who is the first woman footballer in the Olympic history to score a back-to-back hat-trick, will be key for the Copper Queens if they hope to defeat Morocco in this second encounter. Zambia and Morocco have met 4 times since 2022, and the former, they have the upper hand in this rivalry. So the Copper Queens have recorded 2 wins compared to the Atlas Lionesses, 1 win, while 1 match ended in a draw. I remember that at the FIFA World Cup, we had the Zambians go against Spain, and the Zambians were beaten blue black. Of course, 5-0 that game ended, and the manager of the side was Jorge Vidal, who is the new coach of the Morocco women's national team. So will he do a 3-peat against Bruce Mwape? That's the question we get to answer today when Morocco take on Zambia on their home soil. Now, looking at those who are crossing their fingers, dotting the T's, and also hoping that Zambia will be able to get this ticket today. The head of mission at the Zambian embassy in Morocco, Elifas Chiongo, he addressed the Copper Queens, begging the players, begging the officials ahead of this match, saying, please overturn this deficit and bring this ticket home. Let's listen to the High Commissioner.
You prepare to go towards the Olympics. So I've been sent to give you this message and to ask you to keep your spirits high. Because of course we're coming from a loss back home, but the report that I'm given is that despite that loss, the people at home are very happy with your playing, and they are hopeful that tomorrow you'll play just as well, if not even better.
What a plea coming from the High Commissioner Elifas Chiongo, begging the Copper Queens. I've been told to bring you this message, so please You want to put pride on that face, put a chip on the shoulder, please be able to overturn this deficit, get this ticket to Paris 2024. Now, I remind you once again, the fixtures for today's second leg encounter between Nigeria and South Africa, Banya. Then we'll see the Copper Queens taking on, of course, Morocco, the Atlas Lionesses. In the first leg, Moroccans have that advantage. 2-1 the game ended, and in the first leg between Nigeria and South Africa, Nigeria has got the advantage with just one goal coming from that penalty from Rasheedat Ajibade, who was the captain of the side. But we'll be hoping to see what plays out today. The end of it all, only 2 tickets, only 2 countries will be able to take the ticket up for grabs for the Paris 2024 Olympics. Moving away from here straight, let's go to the Nigeria Premier Football League. For the very first time in a long while, Shooting Stars defeated Kano Pillars in the Nigeria Premier Football League encounter for the day, and they could not hold the celebration, breaking a 32-year jinx. They've never beaten Kano Pillars for 32 good years in the Nigeria Premier Football League, but it was Monday, a day they will never forget for a long time. They defeated Kano Pillars in that encounter over there. Shooting Star defeated them in the first time for a long while. So a 94th-minute strike from Christian Piabara ensured a 2-1 win over Kano Pillars. Now only 1 defeat in their last 8 games. They can now dream of a continental slot for the Nigeria Premier Football League. Let's tell you the result. Shooting Stars went 2-1 against Kano Pillars at home. Kano Pillars had the 12th man. Kano Pillars had the home advantage, but Shooting Stars, the 3SC, they went all out against them in that 2-1 win, of course, giving them a great slot for the Continental Championship. But now let's tell you what the table is looking like for the top 6 in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Of course, the top 6 has got teams who are gunning for continental engagement. Enugu Rangers, of course, they got that unbeaten streak done and dusted in that game, of course, for the match day. And this time they sit with 51 points, having lost 8 games. Lodi Stars are in 2nd position with Remote Stars in 3rd. Aimba, the defending champions, they sit at 4th position, having amassed 48 points after 29 games. Plateau United seated 47 over there at 5th position, and Katsina United complete the top 6 in the Nigerian Premier Football League standing with 44 points. Who are those in the relegation zone? Tell me, oh tell me again. I've got Sunshine Stars, Bayelsa United, Kwara United, Rivers United. Now for Rivers United, let's hold our horses because they've got 5 games still pending. Now, because of their continental, of course, engagement, but this time around, they have been ousted from the CAF Confederation Cup so they can shift their focus to the Nigeria Premier Football League and play their 5 remaining games. But they sit at the relegation zone over there at this time, even after having some backlogs of game with 31 points. Aqua United, this team have been former champions before, and this time they sit at 18th position in the current standing of the Nigeria Premier Football League. What has happened to the king of, they call them the King Kong. What has happened to them? They've only got 31 points after playing 29 games. Heartland, oh Heartland, you would find yourself in the 2nd tier, I promise you. Nothing will happen that will make you go up. You will find yourself in the 2nd tier. Oh, the NNL, that's where you find yourself because you occupy 19th position. Out of 19 teams, they are first from behind. Oh, hail Heartland United. All right, they're the bottom 6 from the Nigeria Premier Football League. Let's run straight to the Africans in the continent. Games to expect, games that have been played from the Egyptian Premier League sees Al Ahly having to share the spoils with MP. What happened to the Giants of Egypt? They had to share the spoils over there. 2-2 it ended between Al Ahly, Egyptian Giants, and MP. For the fixture to expect today, El Guna will be up against Pyramids FC. What is it going to be? One fixture for the Egyptian Premier League today. Will the goals come pouring? Big question to answer. Let's move away from here to the South African Premier Soccer League, where Cape Town Sports will take on Mamelodi Sundowns. Oh, Mamelodi Sundowns are away from home. I'm hoping that they do not come with the banging goals because they are coming after picking their ticket, of course, to the semi-final of the CAF Champions League. And this time, hey, they don't want to grieve for anybody, if I have to say that. They will go against Cape Town Sports today as defending champions of the South African Premier Soccer League. And today, we might expect some firecrackers in this encounter. Now, wrapping that on the continent, let's go to Europe. The Serie A takes center stage here. Udinese were in action for the Serie A game for match day against Inter. Udinese could not just hold that one good advantage. Inter Milan had to come from behind to win that encounter. Of course, Udinese parading Maduka Okoye. Maduka Okoye is looking for redemption to return back to the Super Eagles squad, but this time he has conceded 2 goals, and those goals, one led to a penalty from him. His mistake having to, clash with an Inter player there, and that gave them a penalty. But at the end of the day, Udinese lost this one at home. Let's tell you what things look like in the Serie A standing. Of course, looking at that Serie A standing, Inter Milan, after that encounter against Udinese, sit at top of the table. They are 14 point clear at the top, just ahead of AC Milan, who sit at the second position at 68 for the top 6 in the Serie A standing. Inter, AC Milan, Juventus, Bologna, AS Roma, Atalanta occupy top 6 position. Of course, Napoli, who had an historic Scudetto win title there. Of course, with the likes of Victor Osimhen coming with that header on Sunday, that keeps them there, 7th position. They came from behind to win that game. Of course, I'm hoping that they still have a run to make it in the top 3 European sports there, European competition sports in the Serie A standing. But the relegation zone sees Frosinone, Sassuolo and Salernitana. Salernitana were just promoted 2 seasons ago. Maybe they will have to return back to the second tier of the Serie or of the Italian football. All right, time to talk business, the place where the boys have been separated from the men, and now the men want to talk real business in the world of football. It is the UEFA Champions League, the place where a lot of people want to have that dream to play, and we've got 2 encounters today for the quarter-final of the UEFA Champions League for 2023-2024 season. We're going to be in parade. We've got the match of all matches. Arsenal would take on Bayern Munich today. That's the encounter for the quarterfinal for the day. But from the Arsenal camp, Gabriel and Oleksandr Zinchenko, they will be hoping to keep their places as Arsenal take on Bayern Munich in today's huge Champions League clash. The pair have been battling so much injuries this season, but both started for the Gunners in that 3-0 win over Brighton on Saturday. Jesus played just over an hour before coming off for Gabriel Martinelli, that's Gabriel Martinelli. Why? Tahiru Tomiyasu, he replaced Zinchenko with under 20 minutes to go. Now, Arteta now faces a dilemma over who will get to start at the Emirates Stadium against Bayern Munich in the first leg of this encounter. Will Arteta have to go sit under the tutelage of Xabi Alonso to learn how to beat Bayern Munich? Because he has been able to do that for Bayer Leverkusen against Bayern Munich in the German Bundesliga. Will Arteta need tutorial today? That's if he has not gotten one already. But Arsenal look so poised to get the needed advantage against Bayern Munich today. Let's listen to Mikel Arteta.
Really enjoying the moment. This is where we want to be. We're in a really good position in the Premier League, and we're in a really good position in the Champions League. We have a big task ahead of us against one of the most successful teams in Europe, clubs in Europe, and that's the hurdle that we have to overcome, and we are really looking forward to it.
Mikel Arteta had to answer that question later from a journalist saying, have you gotten tips from Xabi Alonso to learn how to beat Bayern? I'm hoping that he gets that one done, an advantage, because Arsenal has not seen Champions League. They've not lifted Champions League title for a very long time. 20 years. Oh, my Arsenal fans right now. We're hoping that they don't get whooped by Bayern Munich. For Bayern Munich, they have also one task, crossing the I's, crossing the T's for this encounter against Arsenal. Thomas Tuchel has warned Arsenal that Bayern Munich want to cause them pain, nothing but pain in this Champions League quarter-final first leg at the Emirates Stadium. Oh, look at Thomas Tuchel, who has not been able to conquer in the Bundesliga. He says he's going to cause pain to Arsenal at their home stadium. Oh, what the gods. For Harry Kane, he joined up with Bayern Munich to win titles. But it's looking like the Kane cast from Tottenham Hotspur has followed him down to Germany with Bayern Munich. The Bayern boss, Thomas Tuchel, who managed Chelsea in 2021 and 2022, returns to London to face the Premier League leaders today. So Tuchel's side trail Bundesliga table toppers Bayer Leverkusen by 16 points. A man that trailed Bayer Leverkusen, who are top of the table at 16 points, says he wants to cause Arsenal, who are top of the table in the English Premier League, pain. Oh, let's wait for that encounter, that dance, that drama. Now, despite that lackluster league campaign, Tuchel insists that his team wants to hurt Arsenal. Arsenal finished fifth during Tuchel's first full season as Chelsea manager in that 2021-2022 season. So Tuchel credited Ghana's boss, Mikel Arteta, as the reason behind the rise in the recent years. And now he has a task to face them in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. What has he got to say? Let's listen to him.
No, it was a bit of a rough start for him, but I think the club stayed strong together with the coach. And like I said, I think they went through this rough patch in the beginning. They created a new culture. They installed a new culture, and when the thing got rolling, it really got rolling, and it never stopped, and it gets better and better. It's very, very fluid. It's tactically on the highest level. It's very fluid. It's very dominant. It's very aggressive. It's incredibly stable against the ball. So it's super hard to concede. They manage very well all aspects of the game. So his handwriting is all over it.
The only thing, one thing on the mind, in the mind of Thomas Tuchel ahead of this encounter is to cause pain, is to cause hurt, because he's hurt already. It's really hurting him that Bayern Munich are just 16 points behind Bayer Leverkusen in the German Bundesliga. I feel your pain, Thomas Tuchel, but get to sort that at home before going away from home. I hope he gets this advice. Let's talk about the Babanla of all Babanla fixture. Real Madrid will take on Manchester City at the Bernabeu today, and that's the encounter a lot wants to watch out for. Real Madrid are hoping that they can go with a strategy ahead of Manchester City, talking to UEFA in order to close the Bernabeu today when they take on, of course, Manchester City. The Spanish giant have asked UEFA for permission to keep the noise in at the redeveloped stadium for the Champions League quarterfinal, in the hope that we'll be hearing from Rudiger at this time, I beg your pardon, what he has to say concerning this encounter of closing the Bernabeu when Manchester City comes to their home ground.
It's a tough game against City, but we are Real Madrid. We are confident about ourselves, and I feel from the dynamics is. We are in good shape. We are in good mood. Like the team feels like a family, and but this is what we have to show on the pitch, and I'm very sure we're going to do that.
Being so calm and collected, hoping that they can come with that answer that Manchester will need. Manchester City, on the other hand, they're also waiting for whatever Real Madrid has got placed on a platter on the table for them today. For Manchester City, they left for Madrid without Kyle Walker, of course, the experienced defender, and Nathan Ake, as they look to get a result without the two of them from their reliable players. Pep Guardiola is relying on other players to come through for him. Walker and Ake are among the top 10 most used players by Pep Guardiola this season, and Walker in particular would have been suited to take on Vinicius Jr., keeping the Real Madrid star quiet, of course, in this encounter. However, the Englishman suffered an injury during that international break, and Nathan Ake had been taken off in City's first game back against Arsenal. So they'll be without these two guys. They're doubtful for the game. We're hoping that we see the miracle will not retire Jesus in this encounter today, to see both players on the pitch of play. But Pep Guardiola has got his work cut out for him. He was able to do that damage against Real Madrid, of course, last 2 seasons, and now he's hoping that he gets to do it again against Carlo Ancelotti's side. Let's listen to his strategy against Real Madrid and see if that will pan out well.
Well, it's not the first time. It's a competition like everybody knows, quarterfinals. First leg, focus on what you have to do, try to discover the strength points and our rival and go for it. So try to focus. It's a football game.
The die is cast. Only 2 teams will have that first advantage in the quarterfinal of the UEFA Champions League. And will it be Arsenal or Bayern Munich as they take on this encounter at the Emirates Stadium, or the second encounter between Man City and Real Madrid? Real Madrid will be at home. Let's see if that strategy to close the Bernabeu would work for them in this quarterfinal first leg. All right, wrapping up sports, let's tell you a bit of something juicy. Tiger Woods received a glowing review from playing partner Will Zalatoris after stepping up his preparations for the 88 Masters at Augusta National. Woods has played fewer than 5.5 competition rounds since undergoing ankle surgery in April last year after withdrawing from the Masters during the 3rd round. So the 48-year-old, he returned to action in December's Hero World Challenge and finished 18th in the 20-man field. But he was forced to withdraw from the Genesis Invitational in February due to illness after 6 holes of the 2nd round. Woods had also suffered a back spasm, which led to that dreaded shrank in the 18th hole in round 1. However, having made a record equaling 23rd consecutive court in last year's Masters, Wood will not be in doubt for him to be at a keen advantage to impress his friend Will Zalatoris in their 9 holes of practice. At practice, Woods was balling. It was balling, and I'm hoping that he takes this momentum into the main competition when it gets underway. Time and our friend, we have to go to wrap on the show, but remember, you can get more. Get to follow our social media platforms and use Central TV. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Onyinyechi Ogu-Obaroh. Thank you for being there.